We're back, Seven Rivers Racing on KQEG TV. I'm Dan Dyker along with Al Losi. Want to remind you, coming up September 16th from 11 to 8 at the Home American Legion, it is the Sophia's Saving Grace benefit for Sportsman driver Jason Denver and his beautiful wife Carla. Their daughter, as they had triplets not too long ago, has had some problems in and out of hospitals left and right. This is probably one of the biggest benefits I've been a part of. I'll be spinning tunes for 9 hours that day, and they're still collecting donations. I mean, this is probably like the largest benefit in all the years I've been in the media doing something like this. Drivers are going to be out in full force. Their race teams, their race cars, they're donating stuff themselves. And if you want more information, you can find them on Facebook. You can find them on my Facebook as well, Sophia's Saving Grace. Or you can go to the website to sophiasavinggrace.org and get more information there. And this is going to be a really, really big day, and we hope to raise not just a couple $1,000s. We're talking handfuls of cash for these folks right here. This is a big racing community. It's a big racing family. And I know you had talked about even having Albert Losi's Stig 49 car out there as well.
Yeah, we're going to try and get it fixed up. We don't know if we'll have it done by then, but I know that as a team and our wives and girlfriends are all going to be showing up. A few donations with a few items that we can donate as well. But yeah, the biggest issue that we had with crashing this week was that we really wanted to bring it there, and we're going to try and put it together, and we'll see what we can do.
Now, you don't even have to register, folks. If you are a driver or a race fan, just show up. September 16th, 11 to 8 at the Home American Legion. Back to last Saturday night's racing at La Crosse, the Thunderstocks. Going to be an interesting showdown coming up on Oktoberfest. Mark Chalet in the junior grade Pumpkin 13 car picks up his, I think it's his second feature win of the season. He was running as a rookie this year, and beat David Cavan out of Sparta in the 88. And the challenging part here was Nathan White and Jordan Myers, Tom Lethe, Jason Stark, and of course your point leader Dakota Miller as we winded out this race here. And Chalet ends up in the 13 holding on as we see some contact going on there. But there's the action track quarter mile. You're going to have that every now and then. And also, doing a reminder before I even forget, Thomas Dan Rozak won the Thunderstock Futures race. It was a 3-car shootout, which they've never had at the Speedway before. Under one win throughout the entire race season, they got you in, and Dan Rozak out of Toma won that. So heading into Oktoberfest to crown a Thunderstock champion, Dakota Miller has a 5-point lead over Tom Lethe, and that is going to bring out some crowds as well for those Thunderstock fans. And by the way, Dakota Miller is not only going for that division championship, he has a chance to nail down 2 more as he could be crowned the novelty champ and could also take home the Dash championship. So it's been, I can't remember the last time we've had a 3-time winner when looking at the champs. Going back to the Sportsmen, our guest in the program today has run a late model, nailed down the Rookie of the Year, ran late models last year. He's been filling in for the Eckelberg family this year. I'd like to bring in Troy Rave out of Black River Falls. Troy, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, Troy. Oh, not much.
Tell you what, man, you owe me a throat and some Doan's pills for the back, because the way I called that Sportsman race, I don't think even Oktoberfest included, man, I've never called a race like that at the Speedway before.
Yeah, that was one of the funnest races I've ever been a part of. You know, me and Jack battled, the whole race, and my hat goes off to him. He ran, a heck of a race. I couldn't get away from him, but I'm just glad we didn't wreck coming out of 4, because it came pretty close.
It would have taken out the whole field.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we're gonna share the last 4 laps of this race right here. Jack Lichheim and Troy Ray both started on the front row in this race, and it was a 15-lap shootout from the very beginning of this race. Now you notice Troy in the Jonathan Eckelberg Underdog 68 car. Started things off running up front. This is pretty much how this thing landed the entire way, except for you had Tony Lee sitting back there driving for Dummers this weekend. And the entire 15 laps went just like this. Troy's out in front. Lichheim had the outer rail the entire race. You've got Tony Lease was hanging back there. Aaron Haas was hanging back there. Now, this is the last 4 laps, Troy. What are you thinking every time you look out to the right-hand side and there's Lichheim again?
I seen him falling back here, and I thought I had this race, but then looked at my mirror and I seen him coming back, and I knew it was going to be a really close finish.
You guys were very gentlemen on the way this thing ended. You both admitted there was some touching going on.
Yeah, we touched quite a bit. I got some new donuts on the side of the car.
There has to be, though, when you're driving that one lap where he was back a car length. That was probably the furthest back that he had been this whole race. And when you're racing that close, that tight, and as it gets closer to the end, your competitive nature kicks in and you're going to be touching.
Okay, now you've got one to go. Jack battles back from, he was one row back, so he was actually tied for third. Gets himself up to the front here. Now walk us through as you're on the back straightaway, last lap.
I tried to be as smooth as I could right here, and I tried getting back to the gas early, and I think we touched. Then we touched a second time, and I got sideways there, and Tony Lease came out of nowhere, and I'm just glad we ended up third.
And again, one of the most, and folks that are watching a replay are like, well, okay, that was just 4 laps. You had to be there for the whole 15 because that was exactly how that race went from start to finish. You could never rid yourself of Litchheim, who said he hated running the outside, but he had nowhere else to go. Then you've got Aaron Haas sitting right behind you with a couple feature win this year. Tony Lease, we know it doesn't matter what he drives. Just like you, it doesn't matter what he drives. He's always, if he starts up front, you can expect him to finish up front. So you and your hands full from the green to the checkered.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, everybody's Sportsman is really competitive. I have tons of fun racing Sportsman. You can, bump people, hit people, and it's not as drastic as, like a late model. Everybody gets kind of mad when, they touch whatever, but I had fun.
Well, again, that was the, I think a lot of people have agreed with me, probably the best race of the entire season. And I can't remember another one as long as I've been at the Speedway that was that close and that exciting for 15 laps from the green flag all the way down to the checker. Then they had the dramatics of coming out of turn 4, and I see Troy's front end doing this. I'm like, and then it was on, and Jack Litchheim gets the feature win, and Tony Lease took second. Aaron Haas, you took third, and Aaron Haas was in the mix as well. So what that means is Randy Humfeld pretty much just has to start the feature at Oktoberfest, and he will top Greg Scheck for the Sportsman Championship, and we're going to have to wait till Championship Thursday on October 4th. When we come back, we're going to talk more with Troy Rave on his past racing and future racing here on Seven Rivers Racing on KQEG TV.